Visalia, you are the fertile ground that feeds the world, that feeds me, and that feeds my family and my friends in this community. You've brought diversity, you've brought vividness and life through the people that I've met from this community, from all over the world. We've found home here, we've found family here, we've found goodness here, and most importantly, we've found a way to pursue a dream to be part of a hometown, a place we can all flourish and be nourished in return. So Visalia, thank you. Dude, because I'm glad we were able to meet up today.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me out this early.
Have you had the citrus mocha yet?
I have not.
Hey, how you doing?
Citrus mocha?
We're gonna have some coffee today. Good morning. Component Coffee Lab. This is a specialty espresso coffee shop, and this is definitely one of my favorite places to go, especially in the morning for a cup of coffee, a pastry, and it's now one of the most visited places where people come to meet, have a good time, and commune with their friends. So it's definitely a city favorite.
Cheers.
Cheers to coffee.
It's an Ethiopian coffee, and Mr. Tyson over there.
You came to Visalia like probably 2 years ago.
3 now.
3 now?
2 years at Tacos Lucha, and then 1 year building Tacos Lucha.
That's right. But what was it like coming to this place? Like, what made you stay?
Family.
Yeah.
Why else anybody stays anywhere? Just family.
That's true. That's why I came to Visalia.
Family.
I had some family here, yeah. But you miss being...
In the city?
Yeah, in the
Every
city.
day.
Like, you grew up in LA, right? Like, San Pedro, Long Beach, all of that.
The ghetto by the sea, man.
The ghetto by...
But yeah, dude, so thought about Portland. We still even thought about it still recently, but that was the original plan, was to end up in Portland.
Right.
And then we came here to visit my mom for like a month. We're like, yo, we're gonna leave. You're not gonna see the kiddo. Let's just hang out for a little bit.
Right.
And then we just fell in love with the place and stayed.
Yeah.
Figured why not, you know?
So it was like a rest stop and you just never left?
Pretty much.
Everywhere you go, there's a place that people warn you about. And we have that place too. It used to be the historic center of our city, and it has an apt name, the Oval, because it's in the shape of oval. And it's now a place where people avoid, it has seen neglect, and it's got homelessness as a major problem. So it's been a troublesome place, but you know, every dark cloud has a silver lining. You're the only taco shop that has their own farmer, like real farm to fork.
Farm to tortilla.
Farm to tortilla. Or what did you called it, like dirt to
plate.
table?
Dirt to plate, I think
Dirt
it
to
did.
plate?
Is the name we came up with.
Why are you trying to do things harder?
Why?
Like, can't you just go to Costco and buy this stuff, or what?
You can, but it's not the same, dude. You don't get that love, you don't get that human element, you don't get that human connection with your food, you know? And I feel that's missing a lot in this world. Everything comes from a vending machine.
Right.
So the human element is very important.
What, I wouldn't say surprised, but what impresses me with like places like this and places like Tacos Lucha is like the attention to detail that you guys put into making something that seems simple, like a cup of coffee, a taco, but you guys elevate it to an artisanship that is not everywhere. You know, like it's like a elite status.
Well, yeah, because we're adding that human element, dude. You're not sticking your cup in a machine and then just pouring your coffee through it, you know? Grandma's love, man. That's what we all try to capture in a bottle.
Yeah.
That
And
touch.
it shows, though. It shows. It shows.
We try.
You guys have spoiled me a little bit.
I'm sorry.
The gourmet, what is it? The gourmet in the ghetto?
Oh, yeah, ghetto gourmet.
Ghetto gourmet.
Okay, so what are we eating here? Because now I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah, me too. I think avocado toast.
Apple toast.
I'm gonna get some burritos.
Eggless avocado toast here. With dill, sprouts, and some radish.
Can't believe you get it eggless. Well, you have an egg problem.
Yeah,
so.
can't do eggs.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you got over there?
We have the component breakfast burrito. My favorite. It's got a really smoky bacon in it. And I think they put that pasilla chili. You can't have egg, otherwise I'd give you some.
That's good.
Yep.
How long you been in Visalia now?
Let's see, how long have I been now?
How
13
have you
years.
noticed the changes? 13
years. 13
How have
years.
you noticed the changes in Visalia since you got here?
There is definite growth, but I think it's kind of like a steady, and it's not like a spike. It's definitely like a low ramp, you know, which is good.
Slow and steady wins the race, my boy. We don't want to live in LA right away. You know, give me a minute.
No, we don't want to. That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to pay $2,000 for my studio. Like, give me a minute.
I think there's definite growth, like in places like this, and what you brought into town, which is just like basically a focus on like craftsmanship, artisanship when it comes to food. But there's people that make like pottery. There's people that make like woodwork. There's people that are into like Western craft, like leather making, saddle.
Well, I mean, the price of
making.
living out here kind of gives you that opportunity to venture into those things if you want to do. Especially coming from like a bigger city where you're kind of more restricted. Into out here, you kind of you have the budget to do things, which is pretty cool. And I think that's what drives people to come over here.
What's the long-term dream with Tacos Lucha? I know you're in like downtown Visalia, in probably
the heart
of Visalia, but also a rough part of town.
At least
what people consider like a rough part of town.
Yeah.
But what's like the dream?
The dream, probably give Tacos Lucha back to the community, man.
Yeah. But you say that all the time. What does that mean? Like, give it to the community? Like,
I always say that it doesn't belong to me, and I'll just turn the lights on. So I figured with my long-term goal of turning it into a communal kitchen where people can work and earn, you know, a place to stay, some food, maybe some clothing, kind of a bartering system, and have them work the kitchen and have the kitchen that generates the profit pay for that. And be able to, you know, farm our food and pay for that, and kind of help people develop a skill and get people off their feet would be the long-term goal for that.
Yeah, to help the very people that may be at the Oval now because they're experiencing hard times.
Yeah, but I didn't think that whole Oval, you know, bringing it back to par was part of the taco deal. I really just wanted
You
a
didn't
full
even know
tortilla.
it was going to be like that.
Yeah, I did not. I just literally just wanted a full tortillas, but hey, what can you do?
It's more than just food. It's more than just tacos and ramen.
Well, it's connection with people, man.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta connect with the people you know, especially with your community. Like everything on this plate, if it grew all right here, how beautiful would that be?
Yeah.
You know, because it's a self-sustained plate. Everything here, the community supports itself.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if this thing works. I think it will.
It will.
And I hope it will.
Well, just got the community around you. We'll keep building it.
Keep going forward, see what happens. You never know.
I'm glad you found this to be your home.
Right? I know, me too. I like it.
Good. Warrior one, bring the arms up, forward, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward dog.
A lot of what we teach is the underlying principle and the feeling and personality that embodies our practice, you know, of just slow down, you know. Even though this kind of has a small town feel compared to a big city of Beijing, you still have people going a mile a minute sometimes. You know, we have a lot of teachers and doctors and nurses. And then you have parents. This community is very family-oriented.
Sure.
And so those principles of slow down, take a breath, and mind-body connection, that's what we like to bring.
Sunny and Maya have built this place called Sequoia Kung Fu and Yoga, and they teach Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and yoga. They're a sweet and lovely couple. So we're gonna go over, and Maya is gonna guide us through some yoga flows. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Sunny and I, we are a married couple that we're the only teachers. I teach all the yoga classes, and Sunny teaches all the Kung Fu, Tai Chi, martial arts classes. And so we came here to contribute what we experienced and learned abroad to the Visalia community.
8 years in China. Both you and Sunny were originally from Visalia.
Yeah.
You decide to move out there. He studies martial arts, Kung Fu. You study yoga.
Correct.
Okay.
I think living as an expat in Beijing, both of us needed something to ground us. It was very hard living there, not knowing the language, and not a lot of people know English. And so he found a teacher within the first year. I started practicing yoga within the second year. And that kind of became a priority as we started studying more and more. So we worked as English teachers by day, and then once 5 o'clock hit, we were training until 8 o'clock at night.
Wow. For 8 years while you're living in Beijing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you decided to come back to Visalia. Why did you come back? I mean, we love that you came back because obviously you guys are building this beautiful Kung Fu and yoga practice here. But to decide to live anywhere else in the world? Because you'd already been in Asia. What brought you back to Visalia?
We loved our life in Beijing, but we knew overall the pollution wasn't good for our health.
Sure.
And 8 years away from our families and transitioning from being English teachers to becoming a martial art and yoga teacher. That was really important to us to try to go that route, and we knew we could do it here.
Right.
And so we were very excited to open up our first, school and studio here in Visalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What else makes this home for you guys now, after being away for quite some time?
Growing up here and experiencing Visalia as a kid versus coming back as an adult is very different. So coming back to the community as an adult was a bit like a reverse culture shock. And so we kind of saw Visalia in a new light as an adult, and so seeing some of the things that were popping up in Visalia, like a few yoga studios, a lot of like martial arts, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, got a ton, right? And so we thought—
Champion level.
Exactly.
Fights, MMA, jiu-jitsu studios.
Right, and we thought, how cool is that? Because when we were growing up, we weren't either exposed to it or didn't see it.
Right.
And so we wanted to add to that community, that developing community. So for us to come back and kind of share our experience and our perspective through the practice, we thought, let's be part of this. This is really cool, that what's developing in our little town of Visalia, We started off really small and just getting to know a lot of the people that come in. And we've kind of developed our own little community here, and then everyone shares, and especially like in the martial arts yoga community, there's no competition. It's just everyone's very supportive of each other. And so everyone we meet, it's that kind of feeling. So that's kind of cool too, to be part of that bigger picture.
What a good journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have you back, and for you guys to come here to Visalia and bring all your knowledge and experiences. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're happy to do it.
I say I sleep in Tulare, but I live in Visalia. And that's, just the way my life has taken me.
Right.
And it's just been exciting to see downtown change as rapidly as it has. And Visalia is, I feel, at a place now where there's no excuse for us not to be an entertainment destination city. Fresno and Bakersfield are phenomenal, and they have the bigger houses, the Same Art Center or Rabobank. But we have the Fox, we have Cellar Door,
So much better venue, though.
It
it's
is.
personable.
It is.
People say there's nothing to do in Visalia.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know.
Not true.
They don't look.
Yeah.
I love our downtown. I love that there's a lot of things going on outside our downtown. We have so many different things that so many people care that it's so nice.
It's community.
Yeah, community.
Yeah.
There is a closeness here that I do love. The fact that I can call you guys about 24 hours ago. Like, let's go have lunch
tomorrow?
and
There's
chat.
gonna be like a couple extra people.
Yeah,
there,
just
don't
like a
worry
few
about it.
extra people, like these guys. Look at them. This place is definitely a hole in the wall. It's a little-known Thai grocery store called Bangkok Noy that has been there for 20 years. And they serve the most delicious pho noodles and egg rolls and red and green curries. I'm gonna be taking my friends MJ and Marina there for lunch. It's a lovely place, a little secret hideaway.
This is delicious, by the way.
Yeah, hey, you guys gotta try this green curry also with some rice here. Let's put it here. Here's some rice. It goes really well with the rice.
Okay.
It's amazing. This is like a literal hole in the wall,
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
How did you discover this place? Because the only reason why I've been here is because you invited me here
That's right.
last month.
I work with a team of people, and we were having like a wrap lunch. We had just finished shooting something, and one of the guys is Laotian. And he's like, hey, go meet us over there at the Thai grocery store in downtown called Bangkok Noy. I'm like, I've never heard of this place before. There's a restaurant in there? So I go in here and I walk in through that first door where the grocery store is, and I'm like, there's there's a restaurant here.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just snake your way through the boxes, and I find them in here, and I'm like, I've never seen this place before. And I thought it was out of like a Asian gangster movie, you know, like they were sitting in the corner. And I'm like, guys, how come you've never told me about this place? And I ordered the green curry with some rice.
That's really good.
Yeah, so I ordered the green curry with rice. I think we had some, what's this called again? Pad Thai.
Yeah.
And a few other things. And I've loved it ever since.
I will say, friend, you have exposed me more into the treasures of the Oval. More through because before we like officially knew each other, we were following each other on social media, and so I'd see like, where are these cool places this guy eats? Like, you know, Tacos Lucha. You know, I discovered, you know, through your exposure. I have to thank you for that. You're really good about doing that kind of stuff.
Thank you for following.
It's just been great to see the community welcome those coming in and, you know, supporting each other. And I think that's why downtown gets to thrive and why Visalia thrives. You know, when I started going to school for business, it was, you know, dog eat dog, and there's an element of that, you know, with any industry or anything. But I feel like this is a place where we can say, you know, there's enough for everybody. You know, we can easily get into business mode and say, okay, we need to get things going, we need to sell, we need to move, we need to market. But then there's also the side of this community that's willing to help you at the drop of a dime. We have so many nonprofits around here, and that speaks volumes to the love and grace our community has for other people.
I think one of you said it before, like Visalia is a place where you can try, right? Like it's welcoming. And for you know, somebody who grew up, you know, in New Jersey to come to the Central Valley, California, that's definitely for me one of the hallmarks of the place was that it was a place where you can try almost anything, be an asset to your community, and rather quickly. Like there wasn't like a barrier to helping. It was, if anything, people were asking for your help, and it was for you to choose whether or not you wanted to participate or be a creator yourself. You know, and that's ultimately the path I chose. I'm like, you know, I want to create. I want to highlight this place because I think, speaking to what you said, like some people think there's nothing to do. That's really not the truth at all.
You know, there's just all these great little connections and you just can't be afraid to ask. Right. And I think that's what holds people back from discovering is that they're afraid to ask.
Right.
And it's just like, just take a leap and try it out. You know, there's something for everybody here.
When we talk about craftsmanship and passion for food, the Vartanian family has been doing it for many decades, and it's a very well-known fine dining establishment all throughout the San Joaquin Valley, and some would say even around the world. And it's the Vintage Press. We're gonna meet my friend Antonio Cuellar of AC Ceramics. He makes some of the plates and bowls for the Vintage Press and other restaurants. And we're gonna talk to him about his creative process and how he uses this place, our hometown, and really our region as a source for inspiration for all the things that he makes. Shall we break bread?
May I?
Breaking bread is such an essential part, right? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, especially with this. I mean, look at the texture.
Yeah, yeah. And this
Soft
bowl
as
is
grain.
beautiful with this bread, you know, because it looks like it's like broken pieces of bread right there. And you would know because these are your ceramics.
Yeah, I agree. I would know. Yeah, you know, after many years of training and making restaurantware, you learn that all you want to do is speak about the food. So you don't want to hide the food and any kind of garish behavior outside of that. So with that being said, you want a simple frame so that the artistry can really be the focal point.
As a creator, though, is there a temptation to, you know, elevate what you're trying to make and make it, you know, stand out above the food? Like, isn't that part of the human nature?
Well, as a creator, absolutely. Inevitably, I want these pieces to stand out with a particular nuance. So that's what is like a very key point of design when it comes down to these kind of items, in particular because you are creating that balance between the two. like as a sculptor, I can be as garish and as, magnificent as I want. I can put as many colors, as many details and cubist items, whatever I want to do, I can do. But then that's me. That's purely my expression, my identity, my style, my ego, being constructed there. Within this, you have to put just the right amount, just enough. It's like told to me, like it's like a scab. If you pick at it too long, it's only going to get worse. What? Should I use the old school, the OG?
Yeah.
Should I use that one?
Oh, whatever you know. Yeah.
That is kind of more stylized, but this is my regular board.
Yeah, do the regular.
You're a creator, and I know being your friend has really enriched my life, because being around your creative energy and our community, which has many creative people, which has been for me like
tremendous.
I don't want to say a surprise, but it's definitely been enriching to be around creators like you and Chris and the Vartanians and their restaurants and many other people. What makes our community here like home to you? Like, what are those things, or what are the touch points that make it home to you?
My mom told me when I was growing up that agriculture would be like the foundation to that, like the smells, the nuances of the sun and how things grow, that they would ultimately be reference points to, what home is.
Right.
Because of that brought me back from my travels to here.
Right.
Because my family, to be here next to my family, and to be around these subtleties that developed who I was as a sculptor, as a viewer of just all of existence, really. On top of the fact, as an artist, I mean, give me a break. California, living, being able to afford property where you can develop kilns and sculpture areas and things that artisans love.
Right.
This area is extremely attractive, especially because of that.
For you, do you find inspiration in this community?
Well, inevitably, I think the biggest force of my creative endeavors in this area is nature, hands down. But then we're talking about like the emotional content, the emotional content of being like, for me, next to my family, or being around people who like, that sincerity. You travel a lot. When you go travel a lot, you meet all these wonderful people, but it's beautiful to come to a place where you can recognize that's sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even pay for that. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for that.
It's priceless. Yeah. It's absolutely priceless.
Yeah. Simple things like eating beautiful food off of beautiful dishes.
Right.
Embracing your family. Those are beautiful places to, really create harmony.
Dude, this is so good. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you guys for coming out and enjoying.
Yeah, and gathering us together.
At the, Oval 90210.
Yeah. Well, we've had a whole day of like exploring like Visalia, like visiting with Antonio, visiting with Maya, with you for breakfast, which doesn't seem like it was that long ago. I'm still full, I think. And now we got Paul and Rosalinda with us, which is great. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I was thinking like Visalia is a little bit like a bowl of ramen, right? Like ramen has no rules, right? Like you can kind of make it whatever you want it to be.
Well, there's no set stone recipe for ramen. Like, yeah, you have your bases as far as what the noodle should be,
right?
But after that, it's just an empty palette for you to do whatever you like.
What you make is, handmade noodles. You labor over the broth for like, 4 to 6 hours. You have a 6-minute egg. You've got, in this case, like pulled pork. You put an edible flour in it, the flour of a coriander. So obviously you're, bringing this type of elevation to a place that usually doesn't see it.
I want to put the best food in Visalia at the Oval. Right. Like, I think this spot is the heart of Visalia from what I've gathered. I'm not from Visalia. I don't know shit about this area. But from what I've gathered, they tell me this is the original downtown. This is the heart of Visalia. And why isn't it flourishing like it should be? I mean, it should not be flourishing a block away when we're right here.
Paul, you're a newsman, and you have a local paper, the Sun Gazette, so you have some pretty good local knowledge of this place. What makes Visalia and this region home for you?
Well, I was born here, so that helps.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. We are general, ladies and gentlemen. Right on Court Street.
Right.
No, I was born in Visalia. I grew up in Exeter. But honestly, when I think about not even just Tulare County, just the area, We have great food. We're all tied together by agriculture.
Yeah, everything grows here. You know?
Right.
It's cool to have all that access and other people not see that is wild.
No, it is
blows my
wild.
mind.
No,
It blows
does,
my mind.
right?
It blows my mind.
And how crazy it is that people from around here can walk up to an orchard and be like, oh, this orchard's been here for like ever since I've been a kid. Whereas people in like Southern California and other places are just like, you just get food from the grocery store. That's where the food is.
Amazon pantry, my boy.
Amazon pantry.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I want it brought to me.
But I feel like people that are from here, and something that I think is really refreshing that you point out, not being from here, is that you see like exactly where the food comes from, like exactly how it's grown and where it's grown, and it's right across the street.
That's why I'm so adamant about having things built from hand, because I want people to see how
What it
Earth
takes,
sustains.
right?
You know, that's why I wanted that whole project where you and I go build a plate and harvest food and just show people that you have all this access around you.
So that's really the hallmark of what you try to do,
I
right?
agree.
Because you're connecting with the people that eat your food, that grow your food, and you're making that gap shorter.
Visalia has always felt like a place where you can network and meet the people that you need to meet in order to make things happen fairly quickly if you just put yourself out there. People are really receptive, people are helpful, people will point you in the right direction if you just start asking questions. So Visalia to me has always been special in that way. That's what makes it feel like home. It's a town that's been around for a really long time, so its roots are deep, and I think that that's what creates that strong human connection. There's a lot of history here, a lot of families that have been here for a long time. And sometimes that's good for our city, and sometimes it's not so good.
Chris is gonna be like the new guy for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like that's what's gonna. It's true.
But his heart sparks other people's hearts.
Right.
And I think that that's pretty cool.
You know, those are part of, we'll call it the advantages of living in a smaller city. Do you think as the community grows, we will have less and less? I mean, we hold these things to be valuable right now, but is that ultimately under threat as the community grows?
Not if you keep getting the community involved. No matter what, it's always inviting. Be inviting, be open. As long as you keep that open, you'll never have to deal with that, dude. Because eventually as the community grows, so will the group. You know, so will the parties, so will the hangouts at the park, so will the things at the movie theater.
Obviously, we value kind of like the connectedness that people have, and maybe that's a function of the size of the place and the culture of a place. But as it grows, inevitably the culture changes, and also the more fish you have in the pool, whether you call it crowded or you feel like people become more anonymous, that's a challenge, I think, going forward. But what I do see are a bunch of people, my friends here, that are willing to contribute the very things they've learned from the world and to bring it to each other. You know, whether or not we fully agree on something, I think is not the point. But the point is that we're willing to have the discussion over a bowl of ramen, which is delicious, with bowls made by our friends, with soup and ramen made by our friends, is what makes this home to me. So I want to salute you guys. And is it okay to cheers with water?
Cheers.
Cheers with water. Cheers.
Never do it again.
So thank you guys. I love you guys, and I love this community. Yeah, guys.
Thanks, Niccolo.
Thank you, guys.
My hero, Nick.
No, you're my hero.
You're my hero.
Or I'm gonna keep eating.